Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolbarger, the director of Koinonia Institute in Israel. And I'm at the base of Mount Arbel. And as I pan here and show you, this is one of those areas that is unmistakable in its location. We are at the base of Arbel, those cliffs there where the zealots would have hung out. And this pass through here is called the Valley of Doves. And this would be the place in which Jesus would have made his way from Nazareth to, I'm here in Migdal, and he would have been making his way from Nazareth to, Magdalene, which is right down at the base of where I'm standing right now. And there's been an amazing discovery over the last couple of years in Magdala, and it's now open. And it's a first century synagogue. It's truly amazing. We've just been able to walk through there and see the ancient synagogue complete with mikvahs. And there's no doubt that this is part of the area in which Jesus, when it says that he came to his own, that he would have been at. And I can't tell you what it's like to stand there and to look at a first century, that's right, first century synagogue, knowing that Jesus, more likely than not, would have been in that synagogue, as we read about him being in the synagogues throughout all the Galilee region. So first time, and something I don't think I'll ever forget. Well, I wanted to kind of give you a heads up of what we've been doing. This is what we call our Talmudim tour, and our journey, actually, because it's nothing like a tour. And we have 15 people that have made the commitment to come to Israel, and we've rented a couple vans, and we're making our way doing work projects. We started in Caesarea, in a villa in Caesarea, where we worked with Holocaust survivors with a ministry called Helping Hands Coalition. And we spent 2 days doing different sort of projects. We actually worked in a social club and that the survivors meet in, and then that evening we bought flowers and we met with them and we made bouquets together and gave them out to them. And then the following night, after working in a community club service center area, we actually hosted 14 different Holocaust survivors for a dinner, and it was just can't even go down that road. There's really no words to speak when it comes to this type of ministry, to truly feel like you've been chosen by the Lord to bless and to love on what the world no doubt would say these are the least of these, those people that felt completely abandoned during World War II. So that's a little bit of what we do. And then we made our way up here to our friends Ted and Linda Walker, who run a prayer retreat center called Bet Bracha, or the House of Blessing. And we just spent a day up in Kiryat Shimona refurbishing bomb shelters up there. We're far away from the south at this point in time, where there's a calm at this, I guess you'd call it a tense calm at this time. But we know that our time is in his hands. We really don't have any sense of fear whatsoever being up here. Just being able to bless the people of Israel. You know, I'll bless those that bless thee, I'll curse those that curse thee. And it's kind of what it's all about for this group. And so tomorrow we'll be making our way out on the Sea of Galilee with our friend Daniel Carmel, and we'll hike Arbel together and be up there. And it's Purim here, and so tomorrow night we're going to celebrate Purim with the friends that we have at Bet Bracha. And then from here we head up to Jerusalem. I've been invited to speak at a conference that Springs of Hope is hosting for victims of terror, and I've been asked to speak as a Christian on our thoughts about the battle for Jerusalem. It's a tremendous honor to be asked to speak at this conference. And our group's going to be able to participate and be there for the entire conference. So we're really looking forward to that. And then this particular tour winds up where we'll be down in the Ashkelon area and spending a day in Sderot with another Christian-based ministry called I'm sorry, I get these, there's so many hands that are involved. This one's referred to or called the Hands of Mercy. And so we're blessed to be able to go and put together what they're called, they're called bomb boxes, because these boxes contain food and a lot of different things that are kept in the shelters, so that when the code red sirens go off and the people are in shelters, that they have not only food but the basics, no doubt. But it's just a way to pray over these things and let them know that they're not forgotten, they're not alone. And we just ask Jesus to make sure that as they're in there, that he protects and watches over them. Of course, it's our prayer that Jewish eyes would be opened, that they might receive their King. And so that's a bit of what we do with the Talmudim tour. If this is something that you would be interested in, you could contact my wife Sharon at sharon@khouse.org, or just go to our study center site. We do a variety of tours. We have a tour that's coming up in June. That's our School of Discipleship. And I would encourage you to sort of check that out and see if that might be something for you. We actually spend a month in Israel. We spend a week in the desert. We spend a week in Jerusalem. We spend a week up here in the Galilee. And we also spend this week along the western shore of the Mediterranean. Themes, and we study the Word of God together. We kind of walk and talk. We've had one, and it's amazing. And so if this is something that you're interested in, once again, Sharon is the person to contact. And finally, at the end of this year, in the fall, we have our Issachar tour. And our Issachar tour is the Israel of the Bible as well as the Israel of today. And that's a tour in which we spend time in the Knesset, on different IDF bases, Ramat David Air Force Base. Our speakers in the evening are Israelis, because we want to hear from them. We don't want to rely upon what our media tells us about Israel. We want to, in a sense, hear straight from the horse's mouth, right? We want to hear from Israelis about what's going on in Israel today. But it's not just a political trip, it's the Israel of the Bible as well. And so if this is something you're interested, like this pass behind me, knowing this is right where Jesus came through, there's nothing like being in his land and listening to the song of the land, song of the people. And you remember what Jesus said, if the people are quiet, the rocks will cry out. To hear the rocks singing out, it's a pretty amazing thing. And then following, we're going to have an extension for the very first time following the Issachar tour. We're going to Turkey. And we call this the Revelation Tour, where we're going to actually visit the locations of the 7 churches of Revelation, as well as taking a ferry over to Patmos, where that book was sort of dictated to John in that Greek isle. So we're excited about everything the Lord's put on our plates and concerning Israel in 2014. And again, if this is something that would be of interest to you, please check out our website at studycenter.com, and specific questions about pricing or anything that you need to know about our tours, you can contact my wife Sharon, who does an amazing job putting these all together. And her email address is very simple, sharon@khouse.org. Whoops, here comes a bus. Take care. God bless you. Shabbat Shalom.